What's up, everybody? Doing a rebuild on a Toyota CV axle. I got a rebuild kit, new CV boots. Basically, this one is torn, and this is a Toyota axle, so we're just going to go ahead and put new boots on it. Yeah, I'm not going to show you how to take it out, but I will give you like a couple tips. One, if you have a Toyota axle, you could definitely get a new boot kit instead of getting a whole new axle. And when you take it out, definitely get a new one of these axle nuts, and I would always recommend getting a new axle nut. And yeah, make sure you clean off this spindle real good before you zap that nut off. Here's my kit. It's from the dealer. Comes with 2 new CV boots, some clamps, and the grease for the inner and outer. This is a cool little kit. This only works for Toyota axles. So if you have an aftermarket one, you're going to have to get just a new aftermarket deal. I'm going to use some wire cutters here to get this clamp off. You just peel it right here and pull it off. There is the special pliers made for this. I'll show you later in this video. I'll use those to install it. But once you get that off, you can use a flathead screwdriver to kind of break the seal, and we'll get this outer piece of the shaft off. Just kind of break the seal here, then this will come off. We can just set this aside for the moment. This right here is good. It's going to be messy. It's going to grease everywhere. So just be ready to have your rags and your towels ready. I'm going to go ahead and clean this off. I'm going to clean it off camera. I got a bag of rags here. And there you go. I cleaned it as much as I could. There's a snap ring right here on the end. We're going to get the snap ring off.
Snap ring pliers. There's different variations of snap ring pliers out there. Just go ahead and get this off like that. You just put it in the 2 holes there and spread the ring apart and take it off. Then I'm going to hammer this off. First I'm going to mark it. I marked it with a paint pen so I can know which way it came off. I'll put it right back on the same exact way. And basically what I'm going to use is like a metal punch and a hammer to tap that off. Basically I'm just going to like put it right here away from the ball bearing part and just kind of tap it until it goes off the end of the shaft. Yeah, do that. I'm going to move this out of the way. I want to move this. I'm going to cut this clamp off and move this boot back. I cut that, and then I'm just going to slide that back. Alright, so this way it just gives me more room to get this hit. And just got to be careful not to hit the ball bearings or not to, like, you know, mess up the shaft or anything. Just hit it right there gently, and a lot of times it'll just come off real easy. I'll show you what I mean here. I got it right here, and a vise will be good to hold it. I just have it on the ground for now, but yeah, I just tap on the end, and yeah, it comes right off. Not a big deal. So once that's off, now I can slide this boot off. Just take this off all the way, like that. And if your shaft has like a balancer cushion on it, you can slide that off too. Next, we're going to get this boot off. Same thing, I just use my dikes to kind of loosen it up, cut it and open it. And then same for this one up here. Get that clamp off. Get it off here. Okay, so once I get those aside, I'm just going to use my flathead. Pretty much the same thing on this side. I'm just going to disconnect the boot here. Just pull this back. And again, a bunch of grease. We're going to have to clean that out. So you slide this whole boot off, and we'll clean this grease out. Alright, I cleaned the grease off camera. I also inspect these. I've seen that ball bearing cage in there have a crack in it, and that is actually causing noise one time. So just clean that out, try to look in there. If it looks normal, it's probably fine. We're going to put this boot back on, clamp it, put the grease in it, and then we'll go to this side and do the same. So we got to start on this side. I slid it on. I got the grease here. And we're going to fill this with grease first, and then fill this with grease first, and then I'm going to clamp it on to hold all the grease in there. I filled it up off camera, and then all I'm going to do is slide this boot up a little bit. I got these pliers that are used to lock this clamp. Basically how these work is they just go over this part right here. You squeeze it and it crimps it down. It's like a crimp. So basically you have the clamp in place with the boot. You can just squeeze these and clamp it down. If it's for a bigger like truck or SUV, you can get like different kinds of clamp pliers that you could use like a ratchet to tighten down for get tighter. But since this is just a like a small car, this will be fine. Just squeeze it tight, get these clamps on. Okay, that's good. Also, it has these spots for a like a breaker bar type of deal, so you can like tighten down with the breaker bars if you need to. But all right, moving on here, we're gonna do the other side now. So that side is good. I'm gonna put this on. I slide this little small crimp clamp first. Then I'll put the boot. There's a little spot right here for the boots to go into. It's like a little wedge that the boot goes into, kind of holds it in place. And then I'm gonna use these pliers. This clamp is different from the other ones. This one, there's like a spot where you squeeze these two hooks, I guess they're called, or notches, and then it'll like clamp this shut. See, here's how it works right here. You just squeeze it, it releases it, and then you put it down with your hands, and that's how it tightens, just like that. All right, I'll put this guy back on. I just follow the marker with it that I put on. As you can see, the marker's lined up perfectly, and it's important because sometimes I believe it could be put on backwards, so it's good. I just gently tapped it with this rubber mallet to get it on. Got a new snap ring. We're gonna go ahead and put it in. Same tool, just use it to put it on. And then once it's on, you kind of just tap it with a flathead and make sure it goes in place. And yeah, we should be looking like this now. Now we're gonna put our grease in. I did it off camera. I used the bag and just filled it up. And then we're gonna slide this guy back on. Basically, we're just gonna slide him on. There's like a dip on this metal case. I'll show you, and right here. And the boot has these spots that are supposed to go in the dips. So just make sure you get the dips lined up. There's 3 of them. Then we'll put our clamp on. Same thing. You gotta have that tool to clamp it here. And I got it on there tight. And that's it, guys. That's how to rebuild the boots on this CV axle. And your kit comes with a new one of these rings on the end of the axle. You could put that on.